Hi, you guys. I wanted to get into this Carol Radziwell, Bethenny Frankel kind of ongoing, evolving story surrounding the photograph that destroyed Luanne and Tom that Bethenny Frankel shared on Real Housewives of New York. And so I thought, there's been so much information out about this. I said, I've got to capture this on my channel so it doesn't get lost. Because like in a year, people will be debating this topic all over again. And I just want to have it somewhere so I can like reintroduce it if needed. Because there's been a lot of back and forth going between Bethenny and Carol about this. And I was shocked at the final outcome. And I think you will be too. So I can try to keep your attention for the whole video. I'm going to tell you what's in this video. Some gossip about Tom D'Agostino's girl he kissed. My take on who's right, Bethenny or Carol, and why. And finally, Danielle Rollins and Tom D'Agostino update, which is going to make you laugh. Let me jump to Heather McDonald Juicy Scoop podcast where she interviews Carol, and let's listen to Carol tell Heather the story again. By the way, I am loving Heather right now because she went on Watch What Happens Live. She's got a show she's doing at BravoCon. She seems to be really rocking and rolling and on a really good wave right now. And I'm just so happy for her. I did a show with her, I think it was like 2 years ago on Thanksgiving. And I launched my podcast, I think, on her show. And I have to say, she is a cool chick. Yeah.
Just a lot of producing at the end. A lot of fakery. Yeah, a lot of fakery. I can see, I mean, yeah, you can see that. I mean, Luanne got married. I mean, good for her. I mean,
let's talk about that because that's a moment. It's about Tom. Please tell me it's not about Tom. Oh. It's about Tom. And right when that started, to remind people, Luanne was engaged to this guy named Tom who had dated several other women on the cast. And it seemed like the engagement came pretty quickly after they dated.
It was like the second week.
And you guys were all in Miami or something. Wait, were you on it? Were you on the show at this time?
Yeah. We were in Palm Beach at an engagement party. And then we went to Miami.
Bethenny is beside herself because a friend of hers happened to have been at the Regency and happened to have taken a photo of Tom with an ex-girlfriend in which they look like they're engaged in a kiss.
Yeah.
And now this information that she never asked for is on her phone while the cameras are there. I mean, and she's got to tell Luanne.
Yeah.
And then what's Luanne going to do? Is she going to forgive him, still get married to him? What? And a lot of people, not just me, were very suspicious of how that came about.
And I downloaded the whole scenario about how she really found out that she knew a friend of hers knew the girl and was told that they still kind of see each other and hook up and on and on and on. So she said, next time you know that's going to happen, let me know. So she was told that Tom was going to be there on that Tuesday night at 10 o'clock with the ex-girlfriend and they were going to whatever.
So then who's the friend that took the photo?
So I could never figure out the piece of like who took the photo.
Right.
Heather, this is like, talk about like, there are no secrets. Like 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, I'm having dinner downtown with a friend of mine. It's in the movie business. And in walks Michael Cohen. Now, Michael Cohen, I know he's Trump's lawyer.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God.
And they're no longer friends, obviously. Trump and he.
Oh, yeah. Right. No.
Right.
And I was like, I can't. And Michael wrote a book and he wants to talk to my friend.
So Carol goes on to say that Michael Cohen wanted to talk to her friend because he wanted to change his book into a movie at some point and thought maybe she could help. And so this starts the chat.
Guys, it's like fucking Michael Cohen is at dinner. There's no way. He goes, I know you. I met you 10 years ago with the Viva Drescher. And I know. And he starts listing. He goes, I know all those effing housewives and this one and this one and this one. And he gets Harry Dubin on the phone. He's like, did you ever sleep with Harry? I'm like, I never slept with Harry Dubin. He goes, you're the only one. He gets Harry on the phone. He's like, you ever sleep with, I'm having dinner with Carol Radziwell. You ever sleep with her? Harry's like, no. And we started talking and he talked about Bethenny and Luann and Sonia. He knew all of them, Dorinda. he actually liked her, and they were, and then we started talking about Tom or the wedding, and he's like, oh please, I goes, of course I know Tom. Who do you think took the picture? And I was like, wait, what'd you say? And he goes, who do you think took the picture at the Regency? So Michael Cohen.
So Michael Cohen was at the Regency that night. So it was
No, I think Dennis Shields, who was then
Bethenny's
boyfriend.
In quotes.
I don't know.
Quotes.
Was friends with Michael Cohen. They both lived at Trump Towers, and they were friends. And he actually talked beautifully about Dennis. And I'd met Dennis a few times. And he was really, really interesting, very smart, interesting guy. And so he was talking about Dennis. Maybe that's how. And then he started talking about Tom. And he said, I took the picture. And I was like, the picture that was on. And he's like, yeah, because I took it. And then he said that Tom knew or something, or eventually he knew that Michael Cohen had taken the photo that ended up being
on the show.
Big deal. He's like, yeah, I took it.
So allegedly,
so you can tell a bullshit story on a reality show. Eventually, it all comes out.
So allegedly, he took it. Sent it to his friend, allegedly Dennis. Former boyfriend, rest in peace, of Bethenny.
Yes.
That's how Bethenny
got on the show. And
Bethenny allegedly knew the woman and said, let us know when this moment comes.
Yeah, it was all set up.
Yes.
That part I knew because I met the woman. I ran into the woman at some event in New York a couple of years ago. But I just was, not that I cared, not that I was looking to find out who took the fucking picture. I didn't care, but it just literally sat at my table. I was like, this is nuts.
So originally everybody thought it was a Playboy bunny that Tom was kissing, but it turns out it was one of his ex-girlfriends. This ex-girlfriend, Missy Poole, who is friends with Ramona Singer and stayed friends with Ramona Singer even after she made out with Tom D'Agostino the night before Luann's engagement party. I really hope it was fake because that's really soul-crushing. So, of course, Luann goes on to marry Tom D'Agostino and then they divorce after 7 months. But to this day, she still can't go to the Regency bar, which is really a cruel outcome because let me tell you, that's one of the best bars in New York. So I found this little gem in People magazine from 2018. You know, that guy who wrote the book They Cut Me Out Of. Well, that guy wrote the article, but this is what it said. It was talking about something Luann told the fans at her cabaret show. On Wednesday, De Lesseps told audience at her Countess and Friends cabaret show at New York City Gramercy Theater that she visited the Regency earlier this month for a trunk show a friend was throwing for fashion company Glamour Puss. And while there, De Lesseps ran into a surprising person, President Donald Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. I walk in the Regency and Michael Cohen is walking through the lobby with bodyguards and he looks at me like, hi, De Lesseps told the sold-out crowd. I'm like, aren't you the guy who's about to go to jail? Well, that substantiates that Michael Cohen was at the Regency a lot and he definitely could have been him who took the photo. Now, let's face it, Bethenny Frankel and Carol Radziwell have hated each other since the very beginning of The Real Housewives of New York, and really nothing changed ever. They still hate each other.
I love you, and because many of you have asked me in the comments, will I comment on something so insignificant and so stupid? And it is that, no, Michael Cohen did not take the photo at the Regency of Tom. The woman who did take the photo at the Regency is texting me right now on this very phone, just sent me our original text and the photo, and it was the photo, and underneath it, it said, maybe you should make different New Year's Eve plans, which I don't even know what that means. Maybe you remember. But people should not quit their day jobs, and you need to trust and check your sources because it's dangerous to listen to just anybody spew their mouth off about something they know nothing about.
So thankfully, somebody grabbed the video because she literally put it up and deleted it 2 seconds later. Some fans speculated that she deleted it because it was about Michael Cohen, but I think actually she deleted it probably because the girl was talking to her on text message. And I bet you a few seconds after they started talking, the girl said, actually, Michael Cohen did take the picture. And I sent the picture to you with the funny text about, like, don't make other New Year's plans. But it was him who took it. It's all word games. But I do believe Carol is correct. And that is exactly what happened. And I think Bethenny realized that a few seconds after she posted that video, because probably the girl texted her and said, yeah, he did take the picture. And then Bethenny was like, oh, S-H-I-T, and then deleted it because she realized, uh-oh, it was true. Yeah, that's what I think happened. So what do you guys think? Who do you like better, Carol or Bethenny? Let's get into it. Let's be misogynistic, like Bravo. So... I don't know. If I had to choose a girl to go to dinner with out of Carol and Bethenny, I think I'd pass on dinner. Because Carol was mean about my Hulu shows for no apparent reason. And Bethenny wasn't very nice to me when I met her. So I can only imagine that we've got another instance of two very talented women, but that are very full of themselves. Well, that brings me to an update of Tom D'Agostino and Danielle Rollins. You may remember that Tom D'Agostino got engaged to Danielle Rollins back in 2022 in the beginning of the year. It's been over a year that they have been engaged and still no sign of them getting married. I hear that he hangs out at the Breakers Hotel at the pool area all the time and goggles people. Or maybe he's just watching the crowd. Who knows? But needless to say, there he is, and he's still not married to Danielle Rollins, something holding him back from pulling the trigger. Wonder what it is. I don't know if you read this Daily Mail article, but he was interviewed at some point. I don't know when it was, but this was published in 2023 in May. But he was interviewed, and he said he still had feelings for Luanne De Lesseps, even though he's totally engaged to another woman, Danielle, which makes no sense. And why would he say that? So gross. But then he went on to give a dig to Luanne, saying that his new fiancée was ladylike and the complete opposite of Luanne. So a compliment with a kick in the ass at the end. Love those. Well, if you're in the Patreon, search Rollins, Rollins. There's a bunch of gossip. Poor Danielle, her ex-husband was a total nightmare. A socialite that knew her told us the whole story in the Patreon. It's in there. But the fact that she ends up with another nightmare makes me very sad for her. And I just hope he cleans up his act. I mean, like Palm Beach needs any more slippery guys, right? I think there's enough. All right, you guys, I can't wait to read your comments. Have a good day.